guys, this is just a quick video to explain how to properly lather Barrister and Mann shaving soap. Today I'm going to be using one of our synthetic shaving brushes and a mostly new jar of Mûir wood soap to demonstrate. So this is going to be a face lathering video, and what you want to do is you make sure that you've got your brush nice and soaking wet. You can use hot water, you can use cold water, you can use warm water, you can use whatever. And I'm left-handed, so I'm afraid you're just going to have to deal with this kind of funky, uncomfortable angle. Sorry, folks. Anyway, you want to make sure that you get enough soap on the brush. Do not be afraid to use the product. You can always go back for more, but it's kind of a pain, and if you do it right the first time, you'll be much happier. So this is about what you want to see. Something nice and dense and creamy that looks like proper lather on its own. So to do a nice close-up, you can check that out. Now, the first thing I do when I face lather is I just take the initial lather and just work it onto my face. Now, as you can see, despite the fact that this brush was soaking wet, this lather's pretty dry. So, what we do is we add just a whole lot more water. And I do mean a whole lot, because our shaving soap can take quite a lot of water. It's part of the reason it performs the way that it does. But you want like a very thick, glossy, almost marshmallow fluff kind of consistency for you New Englanders out there. You want something that's a lot like very, very dense cream. And yeah, so this may look okay, but it's not. It looks wet. It's not wet. This is actually quite dry by my standards. And a lather like this will drag. So we add more water. And as you can see, ordinarily I wouldn't do this with a t-shirt on, but guess what? But as you can see, the water works into the lather and you just get more and more body and more density out of it. So you might be tempted to call this good too. But I'm going to tell you, I can tell from the feel of it, it's not right. It feels like it drags. If it feels gluey, it doesn't have enough water in it. So you just keep on adding more. Just keep on going. It's like mixing paint or making bread or any of those other things where the consistency is just right. Yeah, see? See how it's got that beautiful gloss and sheen on it? That's what you want to see. So I think this is still a little bit dry. So one last hit of water to give it that final finish. And you may be wondering, why so much water? Well, I like really, really dense lather. And I created Omnibus to reflect what I like in lather. I like this very cushiony, thick, moisturizing, fatty kind of lather. I find it very protective. I find it the best way for me to shave my very sensitive baby skin. So if you're going to generate a soap like that, if you're going to produce a soap like that, then you have to make something that can take a lot of water, because you need to make something that will not break down under pretty much all conditions. So this is good for a first pass. I'm gonna rinse my face off, and then we're gonna go for the second and third passes, And I can show you what it's going to be like there, because guess what? You're going to need more water. Okay, so I just rinsed off my face. As you can see, I've got some soap on my shirt here. But that gives the brush a little time to dry out, gives the lather a little time to dry out. So let's do a second pass, see how it goes. Again, I didn't shave. I shaved this morning. I shave once a day, folks. You don't have to shave in order to use lather. Like, I know a lot of people just lather just for the fun of it. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, as you can see, in the time that it took me to rinse my face off, the soap got a little dry. It happens. That's what happens when you use gelling agents and other ways to provide optimal glide for your face. So all you do is you just work more water back into the lather, which you should be doing anyway. Like, you really, with the Barrister and Mann shaving soap, you really can't use too much water. Like, don't get me wrong, it is possible to break the lather. You can use enough water such that it'll just come apart and won't work anymore. But you really got to push it to do that. You really have to go very far, and you have to use tons and tons and tons of water in order to really break the lather to the point where it will no longer perform. So I like having the very wide latitude, the ability to customize how much water I use in my lather, because like I said, I like very thick lather, but I also like a lot of water in my lather, because a nice wet lather properly lubricates your skin, protects your face from the blade. So as you see, it's still a little bit dry. So, or maybe a little, I don't know, dry. Let's call it dry. But if you just keep on working more water into it, you get a nice thick, slippery, protective layer. So you see that? You see that beautiful, like meringue-esque kind of shine? That's what you're looking for always. So there we go. That's lather for the second pass. I'm going to rinse my face off one more time, and I'm going to show you what it's like to do a third pass lather. Okay, now that my face is very wet, third pass. Once again, the lather's probably dried out a little bit, because it's just the way that lather works, especially our lather. So you may be saying to yourself, wow, he's put a whole lot of water into this. Yes, I have, and it's gonna take more. So this feels dry, it feels a little gummy, and so we add more water. Remember, water is cheap, soap is expensive. Use more water when you can. But as you can see, it does take a lot less water with subsequent passes. And that's because we've worked so much into it already. So this feels pretty good to me. Maybe a little drier than I'd like. So we add a little bit more water. Especially on the neck, I find personally that it's hard to face lather and really get your neck lather good. But you see, you add more water to the stuff, and it comes right back. that feels pretty good to me. That feels like a good, solid third pass lather. It feels nice and thick. It feels pretty wet. Yeah, it drips a little bit, but like I said, most of us are going to be shaving either in the shower or without a t-shirt on, certainly without like a dress shirt or whatever on. So don't really worry about the dripping so much. Like, just get a towel. You should be fine. But if you look, you can see even now, it's still got that beautiful glossy sheen, but it is maybe a little bit drier than some people like. So just to demonstrate how much it can take, here I am soaking the brush, and we're going to go for this one more time. And to be clear, this is a little bit beyond what I would use. This is a little wetter than I would normally prefer my lathers, but I know some people really dig like a very sloppy, gloppy, wet, gooey kind of lather. And so if that's your jam, here you go. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry. All right, I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know below. And please like and subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out. And I really appreciate it. Have a good one.